alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to Mara Delights. And in today's episode, we'll be making simple a simple recipe donut that can be made at the comfort of your house with simple ingredients. Nothing too fancy and nothing too spectacular, as you can see from them. Now, without wasting any time, inshallah, let us dive in to the recipe. As you can see, we have warm. You can see this is the yeast, one packet of yeast to be precise, and then in a bowl of 300 ml of lukewarm milk. And as you can see here, we have the caster sugar, but this will be later added on, not on the wet ingredients, but will be later added on the dry ingredients. Put that to the side. And then a side note, later I will add, the best solution will be to add honey instead of sugar, so as to give the yeast some food and to activate it. As you can see, I'm stirring it. So stir properly so as to integrate the milk with the yeast, and make sure the milk is not too hot or the yeast will be denatured and you won't get anything. There won't be any dough formation. Let us now put it aside for the minimum of 5 to 7 minutes. As you can see, now we have the dry ingredients. We have the baking powder, dry ingredients now, and the caster sugar together with all-purpose flour. And now we stir all the dry ingredients so as to combine them, and it's necessary for this step to be very thorough in mixing so as to enable all the dry ingredients to mix. Now, one key important thing is that dry ingredients and wet ingredients should be prepared separately. As you can see, I am mixing thoroughly. As I wait, in the meantime, in our yeast mixture, now we crack 3 eggs and we combine it in our yeast mixture. As I had said earlier, we combine the wet mixtures separately and the dry ingredients separately. And now with the eggs, it will give it emulsification. And then, not forgetting the butter. This is just room temperature butter. Making sure I scoop all the butter that there is. The next step will be to mix them together. I'm using a hand mixer. In the meantime, you can use a blender that will be readily available to your house. Now, fun fact. I don't have any fun facts, just by the way. So we continue to just make sure in your blender or in your hand mixer that I have, make sure to combine, make sure all things are dissolved, there is no any particles remaining. And when you're done, just set it aside. And now we come to the dry ingredients. Now it's time to combine them. So best way is to put a little at a time. Sorry for the spillage. As you're able to see, I can't hide that. Now try to mix it while continuously pouring a little at a time to make sure all that flour, all dry ingredients are combined with the wet ingredients. And now make sure to mix well. Add one step at a time. This is to ensure that there's no any dry parts left. So you add the mixture of the dry and wet ingredients. Make sure to add little at a time, so as to not. But I will not advise to pour all the wet mixture to the dry mixture. But this is the best solution. So small amounts at a time. And now we mix and mix. Now in this case, as you can see, it becomes harder to mix with the whip. As you can see, I left the whisk and now using my hands. Just a side note, if the dough becomes too wet or too sticky, just add a little flour until the dough becomes well formed. Just try to get in there. Now the most crucial part is the dough formation. Make sure not to mix or not to knead too much or too little. Okay, if you mix too much, there will be formation of gluten. Fun fact, gluten is not good for your health. Just a side note. So ensure that you mix well. You knead the dough until it becomes soft to the touch. Now the easiest way to know is to know that the dough is ready. When you poke it, it will try to form up. So as you can see, I'm trying to mix them. My hands are getting sticky at the moment. This is the final result after around 10 minutes or so of kneading. Remember, time is crucial. Knead it as long as you can, but not too much or not too little. As you can see, the confirmatory test is that let it sit for an hour minimum, or an hour 45 minutes. As you can see, my dough has now doubled in size. So now just powder the surface, flour the surface that will be kneading it. And the best way I do is I punch the flour to bring out all the air, and I transfer it to the kneading surface. As you can see, I'm trying to knead it properly and remove all the air. Now I do, okay, depending on your technique or any sort of procedure, everyone has their own procedures. So take your time, treat it gently. And then finally form it into a big ball of dough. At this stage, you can decide to divide it, or you can just go with this method of just rolling out the dough in one large dough. Now this is the final result. As you can see, the dough is big. Now this is the tool that I will encourage to buy, but for anyone this is not a necessity. What the best use I will recommend is just a glass. Okay, a stainless steel glass will be the perfect one. As you can see here, I'm trying my best. I'm squeezing with all my strength just to remove that. Ideally, a stainless steel would be the best, and then you can use maybe a bottle cap to make that one, and it will, regardless, it will come out the best. Now, one thing to know is that after forming the donuts, you let them rest for a few minutes, so as they can be double in size again. So, a tip for those who wish to make their donuts thick. Remember, thick donuts means yes, it means a lot of frying. It needs time to fry, because when you simply just put that thick donuts, it won't. On the outside it will be golden brown, but on the inside it won't be. It will be undercooked. That's why I would suggest that if you're doing a thick donuts, because I did two types of donuts. If you're doing thick or thin donuts, for the thin donuts, And then one thing to know is that if it's a thick donut, cook it on a low heat for a while. And if it's as you can see now, it's time for the frying. And make sure to be careful with the oil. Don't let the oil burn you. I do care about your health and your safety. So safety first. Now make sure the heat is low so as to not immediately burn the donuts, and in that way the inside will not be well cooked. Sorry for the camera work. Just zooming to show you. As you can see, the ideal color will be golden brown color. Yes, now as you can see, this is the perfect, and now it's ready to be removed. Now the best way to serve this is to serve it with tea, or you can go to the extra mile as to make fresh creams, or you can make sugar syrup, caramel sauce, and drip on top of it, or you can even add a little bit of just icing sugar on top, and it will be perfect for any evening afternoon snack or even a morning breakfast. As you see, the way it is, it's crunchy on the outside, well done on the inside, and lovely and amazing recipe that can be done at the comfort of your house. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Assalamu alaikum.